All right, people. Hi. Welcome to another edition or episode of Unfiltered Convo, where we talk about issues that concern us as, or experiences actually, that we've been through as widows, not just widows, but immigrants and people that have been exposed to foreign culture, and we're trying to adapt with it. We're trying to cope and make the best out of it. And not also forgetting that we are single parents as well.
So our experiences or what we share is majorly influenced by what we've experienced and other people's experiences that are similar to ours.
Yeah.
So my name is Fumi.
I am Afi.
Welcome to Unfiltered
Convo.
So today,
before we enter into today, please, we would like you to subscribe on our page. Is it our page? What do you call it? Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Please help us subscribe. We know a lot of you are watching. It gets into your feed sometimes, or maybe not so much. So please, and if you're an influencer, help us influence our case. We're begging you. The things we talk about, we're not trying to teach people things. As we said, is to share experiences, and these experiences resonate with a lot of widows who are in the kind of situation we're in. Not just widows, even widowers. So men are going through certain things, women are going through certain things, and we're talking about our realities. We're as real as we can be. Seriously,
we try to be. So today we're talking about.
Go on.
We're talking about our, not our per se, but there's something that has always
been an issue when it comes to widows.
Yes.
And widows and widowers that had lost a spouse.
Yes. And that has to do with how the in-laws, the role the in-laws play in either the before and the after. So when we get to compare those two roles and what they've done, it sort of leaves us puzzled, bewildered, confused, saddened most of the time. And so when someone tells me that, oh, I am bereaved, one of the things I ask the person is, are your in-laws supportive of your of you, yourself, your children? Are they supportive?
Yeah, if you have children.
If you have children. And by that I mean, do they call? Do they check in on you? Or do they distance themselves, like they remove themselves completely from you and your family, and they become unreachable, or they're not even interested? Or do they play roles that when you consider what they do, you just feel betrayed? For instance, I remember there was a group I joined when I was newly bereaved. I'm not sure that group exists anymore, but a lot of widows came together, and then we're all on this platform. This was during the COVID period. And I remember a couple of women that were agitated because their in-laws, the parents of their spouse, wanted to take their children from them. Take them away from them because they believe that maybe they can't raise the children by themselves, or they should not consider themselves mothers to these children, that they are more of their children or part of their family as compared to the widow herself. So they had to explore legal avenues to stop.
Oh, it went all that way?
Yes. And these are young women. And then there's another widow that I remember listening to her story. She said that her family, her in-laws, were trying to marry her off to
the brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
So these are things that we found recurring a lot of the time with different widows, and it eventually becomes something that is synonymous with widowhood. You find out that for most widows, if you're going to talk to them or if they are going to share their experiences, many of the things they feel deprived of is the love and support of their in-laws. And the thing is, I just wonder why that is.
So it's not in all the general terms. We've had people who had very supportive in-laws, know. There are those widows and widowers who've had in-laws that were like the best, that stood by them, supported them, went all the way for them and all of that. And God bless you for it, you know.
Yeah.
Also, we have the other side, which Fumi's talked about. And I try to see things from the point of view of the other person as well a lot. So, for example, I remember one of my cases when my husband died, and I know that one of my in-laws did suggest taking my children, you know. So I know that one of my in-laws did um, suggest taking one of my children to help raise, no, not one, I mean taking the children from me to help raise that. But I feel it must have been from a genuine caring point of view, to maybe that was their own way of supporting as well. So I don't want to look at it from a negative point of view. However, one of the things that they may fail to realize is that at that point where you've just lost your loved one, the person you've been with, like in my case, for 19 plus years, you don't want to lose something else. So your children being away from you is like it's going to be another loss, like a big blow, So I didn't want that, because I remember I may have reacted in a very strong way to say, no, I can take care of my children. I want them to be with me. I want, and I know that it did cause a bit of a, should I say, a rift or something, or friction, yes, because I was explained to that, no, we're not, I mean, we have our own children. We're not trying to take them away from you,
You're not trying to become the parents of your children.
Yeah, but we just want to like give them, what we feel would be like the best. So that's why I'm saying this from a point of understanding, in the sense that, yes, they felt it would be the best thing as at that point. But for me as a person, I didn't feel that it would be the best thing for me or for my children at that point. So,
okay,
there are cases like that. And honestly, I'm trying to see this from the point of view of everyone.
You're trying to advocate
and not necessarily.
Okay. Let me see you advocate for this other and this is a very persistent scenario that keeps recurring in most of these narratives. Sometimes these in-laws, they swoop in and they take over the properties that belong to, either in their mind it belongs to their son, and even if it belongs to both of them, that's the widow and a dead husband, they consider it the property
it does belong to both of them.
They consider it the property or properties of the dead man. So in their mind, they are taking over the properties because he's labored for us, so we're taking over. We don't care whether he has children, whether he has a wife that needs to survive and be able to be in a good financial state to look after the children. They don't care about those. So we are looking at families that swoop in, take the cars, take the documents, the landed properties, the documents, the certificate of occupancy, deed of assignment, whatever. They take those away from them, denying them those opportunities.
And you say you want to see me advocate for those ones.
How do you advocate? How do you advocate for that?
So the thing is, I can only speak based on my own experiences, and all of that. Now, I didn't experience all of that, because I remember clearly even saying to my in-law, the car my husband was driving then, that's my late husband was driving. I remember saying to one of my in-laws that, okay, after the burial, they can take the car, all because I had my own car and I didn't really need it. And she said to me that, we're not that kind of family. No, why would we take it? No. Keep it and all of that. So, and which was a good example. I wish a lot of, in that aspect, in that particular scenario, it would be nice if in-laws were like that, to say, oh no, we can't take, well, why would we take, because it's not right. I would not advocate for any in-law that comes in. And we see this happening. You swoop in, I call it swoop in, and decide to take everything. I've seen this happen to someone I know, someone I cared about. By then, my late husband was still alive. And this lady was our friend with her husband. Her husband was sick for a long time. We're church members, and we're in, like in a home cell together. We used to go and visit them, pray with them, and all. Lovely man, lovely couple. When he died, she didn't have any child for him. When he died, the family members came in fact, including one of the oh God, the name of that guy just popped into my head. I haven't thought of this in a very long time.
Please don't share.
No, I'm not going to. And this particular brother to the man was our church member as well. So we knew him.
So he's a Christian.
By the next day, he was wearing the boxer. The boxers, I mean the shorts, the inner underwear of the late brother, the late husband to this
You mean
woman.
before his brother was buried?
Before he was buried, we were in the house. We
Come
saw
on.
it. She said that's the husband's, the late husband's underwear that the guy was wearing. You know, parading around the house. Like, he had already taken over the clothes. You know, so and it hurts
And
me
that's just
because
clothes.
look, yeah, but it hurts as well. It does hurt.
So
When,
he didn't
as
see the
in,
need
it's
to
my-
take
at
permission
least
from the
wait
wife.
first.
Can I have his clothes?
Do you get? Wait first. It might seem like just small clothes, but it means a lot to us. It means a lot. Let us be the one to offer. When I say us, I'm talking about let the widow be the one to offer, to say, oh, take the clothes. I mean, yes, this person is your family, is your son, or your, I mean, we don't pray for children to die before their parents, you know, but sometimes these things happen. This person is your brother or your sister, maybe, that died, or, but don't just come in and take over and say you want to start packing the clothes, you know. Yes, the clothes, or the other
documents to the
property, the
house.
documents to things, you know, to property and all. No, or the property itself, up to furnitures in a house.
They
It's
tend to
not
strip widows
right.
off. I think that this happens mostly in third world countries. I don't know why. Yes.
You think? Because you don't know.
But
I wish someone in the UK or in America would share their own experiences with us so that we know. There are
first
so
of
many
all,
things. It might not be
how
close or
are you
anything, but
going
there are
to
things.
how are you going to take over the property? For instance, a UK mortgage property that belongs to both the husband and the wife has their name on it. They're still paying the mortgage, and you're going to come and take it over. It's not as easy as it is, as compared to Nigeria, where we are not dealing with all of these legalities.
And maybe there's no will written
Maybe
down
there's
as
no
well,
will,
which is
there's-
another issue.
All of these things, they are inconsequential. You're like, oh, my brother has this, my son has that, so I'm going to take over these things because it's my brother's. And then you've heard people that would say, even online, they would say, actually, whatever property I have, I remember reading this on Twitter sometime, on X some time ago. Whatever property I have, it belongs to my family. It doesn't belong to my wife. In other words, you're marrying a woman that at the back of your mind, you've already set her within these confines of, you cannot transcend to becoming part of my family. You're only the mother of my children. I have nothing more to offer you.
So it's a man that's
beyond
not
that.
causing the
So
problem
if
in the
I
first
happen
place.
to die,
Or some men.
if I happen to die, everything I have worked for, everything I have labored for, it is okay for it to go over to my family. I'm
Which
not
is not
considering
right.
how to look after my children. I'm not considering how my wife will fare. You're leaving this woman and her children, you know, to leaving them in a vulnerable state. That means anybody can actually do things to them that can that can affect them psychologically and every otherwise.
It hurts. It does hurt.
It's reality.
You know, another issue is the fact where you're accusing the widow
Of having a hand.
of having a hand in the death of her spouse.
Oh, yes.
So I'm not ruling out that every woman is good or every man is good, but it's usually the women that experience this.
Why must that even cross anybody's mind? A man dies, you're saying that the woman had a hand.
You have not seen where a man dies.
But when a woman dies,
wait now,
what happens?
The man dies, and you're hearing the siblings saying that whoever has a hand in the, when you know that this person was sick for a while before dying, we've seen it happen.
Yeah, this things
We've
happen.
seen it happen. This is not just like a movie or anything. This is not Nollywood. This happens in our realities, where you find the in-law saying that, you know, up to the point that they tell this widow to come to the village, you eat something, or you have to sit on the ground for a while,
I
you
think
know,
that's the
or
Igbo
you need to
culture.
swear to a certain thing that you did not have a hand in, or you need to eat something that's probably would, you know, not, would be dangerous for you. You need to eat it so that you can, it will show that if you do not die, if you not fall sick, that means that you did not have a hand in the death of our brother or our son. But if something happens to you, then you had a hand in it.
So you're saying that if I
When
go
you
to the
have
village,
children.
if I go to the village and they make me drink of the water,
that they
that
used
they
to
used
wash
to
the
wash
body of your
the
dead
corpse of my
spouse.
husband.
Yes.
And they asked me to drink it.
Mm-hmm.
All of that soup, all of that grime, everything I take in.
That you would drink
It will affect anybody, to send anybody to the hospital.
No,
in
but
the
that's
first
not
place.
it because they are
So
like
if
looking
they
at
say
it's a
that,
traditional thing that nothing would happen to you if you did not have a
that's
hand
rubbish.
in the death of your
In
spouse.
fact, I hope for everyone's sake that that custom no longer exists, because women go through a lot already without having to do with all these terrible customs, all this censoring, all these accusations that are not even meant to be in the first
Seriously,
place. If you go to the
accusations.
hospitals and you see men that are sick, most of them are being looked after by their wives. Whereas, let a wife be sick. How many men would say, I am taking time off so I can look after my wife?
I was
And
blessed,
so,
I will not lie, for me, I was
when you were
blessed.
sick.
Because when I was sick, there was a time I was terribly sick. I was in the hospital for 1 month. My husband is just my late husband is just one of those rare people, rare men. Oh, he left work and stayed with me. And when he wasn't around, he would call a friend. I mean, like a friend. We had good people around us that would come and say, but he was there, you know. And it was an easy thing for me when he was ill. He was ill for longer, for about 3 years, you know. It was just an easy thing for me. It was a big deal. It wasn't an easy period.
Okay.
But it was not at all. Of course, we're not talking about 1 month.
That's an exception to the rule.
About 3 years.
And I am not.
So it was easy for me to stay with him.
I'm not saying that most men.
No, it's not.
Caring.
There are some men that are like that, but this is not even about that. The fact is that I think what you're trying to bring out is that this woman is there with this man in the hospital, nursing this man in the hospital for a long time. As in my case, nursing him for years. As in your case, because your husband too was ill for a while.
Yeah.
And then an in-law, you find a woman that is in a situation like mine, where you're taking care of your husband, for your late husband now, for a while in the hospital, and then or at home, and then he dies, and then an in-law comes up and still has the thought and mindset that you have a hand in your late husband's death. Come on.
Can you nurse the person
There are women going through this. There are widows that have gone through this, that are going through this. This is why we're sharing it.
Afi, let me just share a personal story of why I think there's something wrong with the custom or the culture, our culture, and the way we regard women, or the way we treat them. Now, what is it I'm sharing? I remember when my husband died, one of the first things my mother told me was, you have no business saying that you want your husband to be buried in a particular place, or this is how you want the ceremony to go. That it's not your business, that it is your husband's family that would decide how they want their son buried, where they want their son buried, and everything that has to do with it. That shocked me because 2 years before then, my brother lost his wife. And I didn't remember his wife's family having a say or saying that, oh, we want you to bring our daughter home. But my mom said, I said, that's anyway, maybe because I wasn't even preparing for my husband to die. So I never paid attention to all of that. But when my mom said, I said, it's a culture in Yoruba land. I said, what kind of culture is that? I don't know whether it's general. But when she said that to me, like few hours later after, my sister-in-law called me and said, they have had a family meeting.
Without you?
Without me. They have had a family meeting. They had it in Ibadan. I was in Ilaro. He died in Ilaro. And they have decided that they want him buried in Ibadan. And they want him buried the next day after he died. And in my mind, before then, I was thinking, maybe it would be a couple of weeks so that it would give me time to gather resources, plan properly, because I believe that he deserved a properly befitting burial. He was a very good man. It was not only good to me, it was good to other people as well. So he would deserve a befitting burial. But if you are taking away the element of planning and the time, There's no way you're going to do anything befitting within that time frame. And so when they said that, because my mom had warned me, if she hadn't told me that, I'll be like, I think that's why didn't you ask me? I'll prefer my husband to be buried close to where we live. I
So it'd
mean,
be easy
as his
for you
wife
to
and his children, so I
visit,
can visit if I want to.
to put flowers in a grave on the grave
No,
side if you want.
I wasn't allowed to have an opinion. So when they said the following day, and even up until the last moment, there were issues about deciding the particular cemetery. They changed cemetery like 2 or 3 times. I guess for different reasons. Maybe one cemetery was full, that kind of thing. So bless my sister-in-law, she was updating me. And I think probably she felt as if she didn't have much of a say as well. So we are looking at people that were older than my husband taking this decision on his behalf, on his dead body's behalf. And I had to just say, okay, and just go with the flow. So the following day, we went to bury him in Ibadan, in a place I don't even, yeah. And that journey alone, I don't even want to talk about it. So when I say I think our traditions and our customs are rigged in such a way that women do not have voices, either before, during, and after a loss. This is what I'm talking about.
True.
So why is it like that? And why are in-laws not particularly interested in the welfare of a woman that has
After the husband's passed,
psychological, financial, spiritual, moral? People who say that, at least for boy children, they need the stability of a male presence. What are the in-laws doing about that presence?
Especially the boy. I mean, even the girls. I remember one of the things my daughters that's mentally affecting her is the fact that there's no father around, sort of. And we talk about those things. These are things I encourage my girls to talk about. So they want, for example, the younger one. Once I told you that she had to go to a counseling, a post bereavement. When I remember these things, so I'm not upset as much as a bit. I hurt a bit, I guess, because I feel like that's where I feel like I had a lacking with my in-laws. That support, that post bereavement support, I would have loved that. Well, if not for me, for my girls, for my children, for our children, I'm sure they try, but I wish it was better. I really wish for it. That's what I think I lack.
We're still coming back
because
to this.
My children, so my younger one went through a post-bereavement counseling in school. The school suggested I didn't even have a hand in it. I didn't even want it.
Because they saw that there was something
exactly off. What they observed. And they said, she doesn't like talking about her father. And I said, yes. They got to know, I basically filled them in that her father is dead, and all of that. And they're like, yeah, the chaplain knew, but not many people know. And then it's something she doesn't want to talk about. And it's a conversation I had with her. And she said, Mommy, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to tell people that my dad's dead, or because I don't want people to pity me. I don't want people to start telling me sorry. I said, why? She said, because it'll make me cry, and I don't want that. I don't want to make a fool of myself. And it really hurts me, I know that hurts them. So basically, she avoids such things. And the school observed that. And they said they needed to do post-bereavement counseling for her, which she went through. And then more talk I had with her. She said, Mommy, I wish I see my other students, my other friends or schoolmates, their father comes to pick them up from school, or comes for their school shows or something that they do. And I don't see any man there. I don't see nobody. I said, but I tried to finish. She said, no, Mommy, we know you try, but it would have been nice to have a man. So it makes me feel somehow when I don't see a man, coming to and all. And they are valid.
Yeah.
I try to be enough, but I cannot be enough for them. And I just wish that
it would have been better if you had.
Do you get, like,
if every widow had the support?
That's emotional. I'm not asking.
We
need the financial support as well. But even if not that, the emotional support, the mental support, the just knowing that, look, your daddy might not be there, but we are there for you. We are there. How are you? That's checking in, not just with me, as in with the children, talk with them often. It would be nice to have that.
Let me tell you, the moment I knew that Not, no, I'm not going to say that all of them, but the moment I knew that I was alone in all this, on the day of that burial, all his uncles, they barely glanced at me and my boys. They barely, I can't remember even them holding me on saying, well, for me, it is well with you. Maybe I can't even remember a last parting shot. To be fair on my sister-in-law, she tries to do all these things, but I'm telling you about every other person. So at that moment, it occurred to me, my dear, you're carrying this thing by yourself. If you get the support, all well and good, but don't expect anything from anybody. Not in-laws, not anybody. I just want to thank God because the lack of support from wherever you're expecting it from does not invalidate the support you get from someone else. Do you understand? There are people that have come into our lives, and yours as well, that have taken up those roles.
Yeah, sure.
And they have never faltered. They have not been weary. Sometimes without even calling, they
No
just
strings
know
attached.
when they just know when to call and check in and say, I hope everything is all right.
Yeah, true.
And those are the things that make this experience a bit more bearable. But imagine if God wasn't sending all these other people into our lives, and you are thinking that you are part of a family that you married into, and they show you that, my dear, we think that you're on your own. No, I think life would be much more worse than what we're experiencing. So anyway, we are just talking about these things just to shed a light on, not as if we're even shedding a light, but the question that keeps recurring is, why are relationships strained with in-laws?
Yeah.
Why are we not
his
getting the
spouse is
support?
out of the picture?
Yes.
When his spouse is dead.
And we do not have the answers because we are also asking them. Our children are asking these questions. Some of them are not close to their cousins by reason of the fact that something happened when their father died. And so some of them feel guilty. They're like, maybe did we do something wrong?
Oh, yes.
And
the guilt is there to some.
Exactly.
I have a friend who's a widow now, and it feels like a whole life of being married was erased. It feels like she was never married. That's how it feels. It hurts, even for me as a friend for her. It hurts, and because one part reason is because she didn't have a child in the marriage, which wasn't her fault, but it just so hurts that how many years of marriage to someone just feels like it never happened, disappeared, like nothing of such ever happened. Meanwhile, just because the spouse is dead.
When the in-laws want to seek for your hand in marriage, everyone comes in their numbers. They represent very well. In Yoruba land, they will even say that we beg to marry your daughter. We are begging you, give us your daughter. But the moment something like death comes into the picture, all of that does not matter anymore. It's only very few families that continue to support this woman, even post-loss. Very few of them. And some of them even place embargo on. Don't even think about getting married again. We just want you to remain like that, even if they feel that it's better for her. So
they don't actually say it like don't.
What do you mean?
I know that my in-laws are not particularly into hearing that I might want to move on. Let me use that phrase, which is,
I think it feels like a betrayal for some of them.
Yeah, and I know it comes from a place of hurt. But a question that I beg to ask is, if it was the other way round, and this is not just about me. It's a general question, because it's not just something I'm going through or somebody else going through. I'm just saying, like, if it was the shoe was the other way around, where your own person was alive, and then it's the other person
is the woman that died.
That died, would you not encourage your person, whether it's your brother or your sister or your cousin or your son or your daughter, to move on? Well, because moving on doesn't mean that you've forgotten your first marriage. Moving on doesn't mean that you've forgotten the father of your children or that the memory is erased forever. But would you want this person to be on a standstill? Would you want your family member, your person, to be at a standstill?
Widowers are actually encouraged to remarry.
Widowers get married almost immediately. I have a friend that's telling me his wife. Okay, I have a couple of friends. It's not just her because I happen to be close to 2 or 3 widowers I know. One is already married. I mean, like, my husband died before his wife. And he's married.
And you are what? What are you doing?
He's married.
What are you doing?
His marriage is probably like almost 2 years old now. And I'm like, what? What? I mean, it's me. I have another one that, oh my God, is married. And then the third one just told me his wife died like last year or when was it?
He's preparing to get married.
He's preparing to get married.
Sister.
It's like, no. And I'm like, my God.
Sis.
It's 5 years now. It's 5 years. It's 5 years. I'm not even saying I'm marrying now. I'm just saying, like, let me date. It's a problem that you're thinking of even dating.
It's a problem. And it's a problem that you're even flaunting it and talking about it. But I think that, thankfully, the culture of silence for widows is gradually getting eroded. So we're talking about these experiences more. First of all, so that people know that they are not alone.
Yeah.
And then secondly, so that you can understand that it is okay for you to take whatever decision you want to take that's in your own best interest. Whether to not remarry is fine.
Thank you for
Whether
saying
to remarry
that.
It is fine.
Because I don't want you to look at it as flaunting. What we're doing here is not flaunting.
For some people, it feels like you're flaunting. How can you even be happy? You
this is
your
the
husband.
reason why we're talking about this. We're talking about this because it's an issue that's happening. It's happening, and we need to face this reality. Every one of us, whether you are the widow or the widower, or whether you're the in-law or you're the relative to any of it, or friends,
whether you're
friends,
the non-in-law
in-laws or something, or non-in-law. We need to face this reality that these things are happening. And if you were the one wearing the shoes,
how would you respond?
What would you do?
Exactly. I want to leave it. It's not exactly a quote, but this was what I read in The Island of Missing Trees by Elif Shafak. Now, there was a part where she wrote that the two of them, these two characters, were talking about the different responses of men and women to grief and loss. The lady said, well, in our own experience, women mourn while men replace. So when you see your widower friends quick to replace, quick to remarry, what are they doing?
They're replacing.
So,
because that's the general way they respond to things.
Yes.
But women retain for a while first. They stew over it. And that's generally how we are. You stew over it for a while before you now begin to want to. And sometimes it's a bit too late.
It is. It can be a bit too late. For instance, if you take like 7 years, still not exactly reminiscing, just being sure that you're ready to move on. And then you're ready to move forward.
The world's gone ahead of you.
The world has gone ahead.
And you're trying to cope with
the dating pool is even
exactly.
It has few fish in it. So, I mean, anyway. So we are asking this question and we're talking about this just to let people who are listening think, in case they are not even in our shoes or they are not in-laws themselves.
And you could talk about this right now from where you are, okay? Get into this, but death happens, so we need to. What can you do now? If you're going through this already, you can talk about it with someone. You can talk about it with a lawyer, with a counselor, with the right person to talk about, or get in touch with us, and we'll try and connect you with the right people, okay? That you can talk to help in this thing. And as I said, there is also counseling for people. And if, aside the counseling for you as a widow and widow, can we have the in-laws please discuss this in reality and face the reality of things, please?
If you're an in-law to
think about it.
Please just know that one of the things you owe someone that is bereaved in your family or who is married into your family is the support. 100% support. Not the time to be blaming people for what they did or did not do. Not the time to withdraw your affection.
I mean, we know that you're grieving. Let's do the grief together. Let's heal together as well. Let's move on together. It doesn't mean that we've forgotten that one person out of us is missing. That's not what it means. But can we do it together and still be a family and still be close?
Anyway, it's been nice having this conversation. I believe it's one of the very important topics that we should have, or we should address, because well,
This
thankfully,
is just the tip of the iceberg.
thankfully
by the way.
we've done a bit of it today, and hopefully maybe some other time we could go deeper as well.
Yeah.
But wherever you're listening or watching from, we just want to appreciate you and say thank you. And if this is your first time, please kindly remember to like our videos, share our videos, and subscribe. That is very important. Thank you very much for listening and watching. Have a lovely day, whatever time of the day it is, whenever you are watching.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
It's okay, she's still impacted by the discussion.